Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Virtual Sightseer. This is where I take you around the globe using Microsoft Flight Simulator. The goal here is to use the sim to show you beautiful places from around the world from the comforts of your own home. As a friendly reminder, I'm no professional, this isn't a tutorial, and it's all just for fun. My hope is that as the channel gets bigger, subscribers and viewers will request cool places for new flights. So let's get in the sim and find out where we're flying on this episode. Alright, so in this episode we're going to be in the MH60 Tango variant by Meltech and Blackbird Simulations. They recently released a new livery pack, which gave me the idea to fly this location. So we are going to be taking off and heading north from U.S. Coast Guard Air Station Traverse City, and we are going to be in the Traverse City livery. Let's go ahead and turn our markers off. We'll get our zoom in here and take a peek at this livery. From there, we're going to fly over the Grand Traverse Bay. We're going to follow the coastline towards the Mackinac Bridge. Once there, we're going to fly over the bridge and come in for a landing from the east side of Mackinac Island. This flight might be a touch longer than normal, so I might speed some of it up, I might cut some of it out, I might leave it all. We'll see. Alright, so with all that being said, let's go flying. Get our co-pilot in here. Make sure our parking brake is set. Alright, let's get off the ground. We're going to switch this real quick. And go ahead and pull up our EFB. Alright, we loaded in that. And we'll go ahead and get rid of this so we can see what's going on. Alright. So just off to our west is Traverse City. I do, of course, have some facts about our locations today. So here shortly I'll go ahead and get those facts out of the way, so we can just focus on flying. And we got our autopilot set up there. Alright, so the Mackinac Bridge is also known as the Mighty Mac. It opened in 1957 and is the longest suspension bridge in the Western Hemisphere. The bridge connects Michigan's Lower Peninsula with the Upper Peninsula, and it separates Lake Michigan on the west and Lake Huron on the east. Lastly, the bridge's main span is 3,800 feet in length, but overall, the length of the bridge is actually 26,372 feet, or almost 5 miles. Try to pick up a little bit of speed. Have you guys noticed that white line on our screen here, and then the purple line over here? That's just a flight plan that I created, but I'm just trying to get some better scenery in. So we'll more or less use that as a guide. Alright, so now for the island itself. Firstly, most would argue that the biggest fact is that the island is mostly car-free, with most travel happening by foot, bicycle, or horse-drawn carriage. When I said mostly, the exception is for emergency vehicles and some service vehicles. Mackinac Island State Park was the country's second national park, and in fact, approximately 82% of the island is a state park today. So lastly, Mackinac Island uses approximately 10 tons of Michigan sugar per week at its peak, and it's well known for its fudge. Alright, I think I've done enough talking, so let's just focus on the beautiful scenery here. And then we'll come in for a landing on the island. Ships out in the bay, that's pretty cool. So we're gonna fly past Torch Lake, which is absolutely stunning, and we'll fly past Charlevoix as well. If I turn the markers on, we might actually be able to see the marker for Torch Lake. Yep. So just off our nose, right there. Trying to pick up a little bit of speed here. We'll get a little bit closer to the coastline just to get a better look at the scenery here. A beautiful torch lake right there on our right. I think as far as altitude goes, we should be okay. Was only about 150 feet above that house there, so it's a little low, but we got our autopilot set, so got some truck traffic down there. Not sure which highway that is, but it's modeled pretty well. Okay, so this next body of water that we're going to come across is the Little Traverse Bay, which is this section right here. Petoskey's right over here, and then Harbor Springs is right over here. Sure what I'm flying over there, but it looks pretty important. If you know, let me know down in the comments. Back off the speed just a little. I think we're getting a little too fast. It's about 185. Alright guys, so just for time's sake, I'll probably put a cut in here somewhere. So I will see you guys when we're on the other side. Okay, welcome back guys. We are currently right over Sturgeon Bay. We are about to cross over Wilderness State Park. Off in the distance you can see the bridge starting to come into view. So once we're through the state park here, we'll go ahead and turn towards the bridge. Try and zoom in on the bridge a little bit. You can see it there. Okay guys, so the plan is to fly us as close to the middle of the bridge as we can, and then we're gonna fly to the east side of the island and come in for a landing coming in from the east. Probably pick up just a little bit more speed. Looks like there's a lot of boat traffic out there today. Recenter on our EFB here, and we're going to zoom in just a touch. So once we get to the east side of the island, I will go ahead and disengage our autopilot, and we'll come in for a nice smooth landing, hopefully. Okay, well, definitely not the best landing. I'm not sure what happened there at the end. Started to have some issues with the joystick. But nevertheless, it is a successful landing. Certainly not a smooth landing. But with all that being said, that's going to be it for this flight. Hope you guys had fun. Want to thank everyone for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment on where you'd like to see me fly next. I'll see you guys in the next one.